What's your self-talk? Thank you for being here. I'm here every Tuesday, as you know, and we focus on this one question. What's your self-talk? And the reason I ask that question because I want you to focus on this growth mindset rather than having a fixed mindset. Like you can grow and choosing positive over negative. And so I always want to bring you ideas, information, and sometimes experts who have learned how to embrace this mindset and learn how to use that question, what's your self-talk? And so you can understand how to use it as well. And so every time you think about, what is Jabari talking about? He always gonna say, oh, what's your self-talk? Okay, but how do you apply that specifically in your life? Now, it says on the screen, you say, how to be a successful entrepreneur. And so this is part one. So I am excited because this is my life. This is just how I'm living my life right now, and I'm completely okay with that. And here's the thing. I want you to understand what are the things that you need to do. If you are that person that want to be an entrepreneur, or maybe you are an entrepreneur, you have a company that you work within, but they want you to have more of this entrepreneur spirit. So the goal of this sessions that we're going to have is to start honing in on some of those specifics. Now, I do want to show you something. So I'm getting a lot of this information from a book I'm currently reading. Now, the book that I'm reading is called Escape. I'm going to show you up on the screen. Escape. Now, Escape is the 4 stages of become a successful entrepreneur. So you can be able to go there and check out this book. It's a great, he does a great job. I'm actually supposed to be on a live training he has right now, but I'm here with you, right? And it's so great. You have an actual platform. It's for free. You can go in there and you can be able to do reading. And so a lot of things that I'm walking through is specifically from this book. And one thing that I've learned for me is like when I go in and I learn specifically the things that I need to do, and then I practice them and I talk about them, then I live it. I'm more congruent with what I'm telling you. Okay? So I'm gonna go over 3 things today that I wanted to focus on with you to understand, okay, how to be a successful entrepreneur. All right. So what is the first thing? Well, we have to be willing to invest in time. So when I say time, I want you to think about investing in yourself. And for numerous reasons, that's so important. Because if you don't invest in yourself, as far as the mentality that you have to embrace, and what the company I work with and what he even talked about, those limiting beliefs or those paradigms. Because what happened is when you want to change, you are not used to that change. You're probably used to being this other person who maybe, sit on the couch, come after work, spend 3 or 4 hours on Netflix binging, just looking at everything, or going on social media and just looking at a lot of things that's going to maybe use your time up. So now you have to start asking yourself, how am I using my time? Because in order to get this confidence that I need to push forward and become successful as an entrepreneur in whatever product or services I'm delivering, you have to understand it takes time to do that. And you have to invest in yourself. And you have to learn how to develop. You have to think about it takes time to learn things, to do to learn systems that you need to implement within your business. So understanding why you need to do that and doing that is so important. So make sure that you do that. And that's why time is important. So the second thing that we're going to talk about is going to be you have to be willing to sacrifice. Okay? Let's just be honest. You have to say, is it important that I go out with my friends today, or and spend an hour or 2 hours with them, or is it more important that I invest in my development of my business or my idea or of my product or my service? Because you think about when we think about time, if we think about time, then sacrifice is going to be important, right? Because you have to sacrifice something. Now, we know you're supposed to get to sleep. You want to spend time with your family. Outside of that, it's like, what else am I doing? I'm doing everything that's going to push everything that I'm doing forward, and that's going to give me, understanding and excitement with what I'm doing. So that takes sacrifice. You have to be willing to sacrifice, some of your personal preferences, hanging out with people, or sometimes you have to sacrifice sleep. Sometimes you have to sacrifice hanging out with the loved ones. But you have to be aware of that, and you have to balance that. You have to understand what you can say no to, what you can say yes to, because once you start asking yourself, what do I have to sacrifice? What do I need to do to get better? Then you can start realizing, okay, I see that this is what it's going to take. I see that I have to do better. Okay, so time is so important. And then what's next? Sacrifice. All right. Now, next, and for those of you who probably just joining, I want you to understand that I'm exploring this book through Anik, which is this book right here, The 4 Stages of Becoming a Successful Entrepreneur. It's a great book that I'm walking through in my morning routine that I have. So definitely make sure you be able to check that out. These are some ideas, and that's why I say it's part 1, because there's so much great value within this book. I want to just make sure that I break it down in ways that's relevant to me, and why I think that's going to be relevant to you as well. And especially if you really want to embrace this entrepreneur spirit. Next, last but not least, focus, right? You have to be focused. You have to be willing to say, if I want to build this online business, where does my focus need to be? How can I not get trapped in these loopholes? Let me give you an example. I have a real great friend that we had a call today, and he is his time is very needed as well. And me and him, as we were talking about, what are the things that we need to do? And both of us said something that I thought that was interesting, but he said that time is so important right now, and that he has to make sure that if I say I'm going to do this at this time of the day, then I do it. If I say I'm going to sleep at this time, that's what I do. Or if I say I'm going to wake up at this time, that's what I'm going to do. If I say I'm going to make it there at 9 o'clock, that's what I want to do. Why? Because my ability to focus in on that hour, and just that hour I have with that person, or talking to somebody, or doing a presentation, or whatever I'm doing, I have to be focused in. I can't have no distractions. Like if I'm talking to you right now, but then I'm trying to be on my phone, and I'm trying to call somebody, and then I'm trying to adjust this, and I'm trying to do this, and then I'm making sure that I won't have your attention. And think about how much you practice that throughout the day. And then when you actually sit down and you want to start focusing, how hard is that? Because throughout the day, you're so distracted. It's like the shiny object syndrome. There we go. Shiny object syndrome. So when something pops up, like, oh, what's that? Oh, it's notification. Oh, what's this? And so what happened? All of a sudden, you like hour and a half later has passed by, and you're like, oh my gosh, what have I done? I've been so busy. Really, you just been distracted by so many notifications that you're having. So you have to be willing to understand that focus is so critical. It is so important. And that is one of the things that Anik shared in his book. He said that a billionaire, Mark Cuban, told him this. And Mark Cuban, before he was Mark Cuban, before a lot of people even know him, and Mark Cuban is the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, if you don't know. But he was saying, the story that he told in the book was, he reached out to Mark Cuban, because when he was starting off, he gave people access to his email, and he emailed him back this, because he asked him, believe he asked him a question, somewhat along the lines of, hey man, what is some advice that you want to give me? I'm an entrepreneur, I got 6 things going on. And Mark emailed him back. He said, hey bud, I'm pretty busy, so this is going to be short, but you just need to focus. And he even says, that was so, that didn't even sit with him well, but he ended up later on understanding the importance of it after he heard it just in a different perspective. But at the end of the day, your ability to focus in on what you're doing and allow everything else to not draw your distraction, that is so important. And that's what it's going to take to be successful at being this entrepreneur. Time. How are you using your time? Investing in yourself. That take time. Sometimes that's money, right? We'll get into that later. But time. Investing in yourself. Building up this belief system that I can be successful. I can do this. And the sacrifices it's going to take. You cannot think you will be successful if you are not willing to sacrifice things that you do and people that you hang out with and people who maybe don't understand this mindset that you're cultivating. You're cultivating a new mindset than what other people see you as. So when other people see you as this person, but you was like, hey, I want to be this successful entrepreneur because I want to provide for my family, I want to provide better service, I want to give back to my community. Well, then guess what? I have to embrace a different mindset than I've had in the past. So what are the things I need to start looking at and evaluating and I need to sacrifice? And then, last but not least, focus. Focus, focus, focus. Because your ability to focus on your goal as an entrepreneur or your goals across, maybe if you have numerous of things, that is what it's going to take, is to focus in on that. Allow no distraction. Don't have that shiny object syndrome. And if you do, just get back in it. Don't let it, distract you so much or it's just like, what was I doing again? Right? So I have that a lot and I have to constantly work on myself to get there. So thank you for watching. This is just the part one. I'm going to continue to just come to you and talk about this entrepreneur because I'm so passionate about it and I'm living it every single day. Okay? So go out there, take action, and ask that question that you know that I'm always going to ask you is, what's your self-talk? And ask yourself, am I being positive? Am I having this growth mindset? If so, continue to embrace that mindset and then take actions in that mindset. And if you fall off, it's okay. Get back on it and go again. So go, take action, do what you need to do, and make the change that you want for yourself and for those around you. All right? So you know that question. What's your self-talk? See you soon.